Hello, welcome aboard the Summer Western Balkan Demo Day 2021. I'm Gordana, Community Engagement Manager at Impact Hub Belgrade. And if you have never heard of us before, you might even wonder, what is Impact Hub Belgrade and why are we organizing a Demo Day? Impact Hub is one of the largest networks that counts 100+ hubs that are spread globally. It started with one single hub that was based in London, and now we are a worldwide and focused on building entrepreneurial communities for impact at scale. And Impact Hub Belgrade is a proud member of that network. We are a go-to place for startups. We provide investment readiness programs, access to high net worth network, as well as networking and events. And we also organize demo days, which we do year-round, specifically staying 4 times a year. You'll remember it by the seasons. It's spring, summer, autumn, and winter. And Demo Day is basically a one-day event where some new startups have the opportunity to pitch and get expert advice from our mentors and experts from the startup ecosystem. By participating in a demo day, startup teams enter the selection process for the investment readiness program with the aim to meet their matching investor at the end of their journey. So before we start, let me just shortly guide you through the agenda for today. At 3 p.m., you will have a chance to listen to the We Founders Live podcast that is hosted by Studio X founder Gaia Montelatici with her guest Marina Ivanovic, who is the head of recruitment at Colibri Games and who is also a Forbes 30 under 30. Also, from now until 3:30 p.m., you can move around the virtual space and visit the expo area where some of the startups from our community are already waiting to chat with you. You can approach their virtual booths, check their presentations, read more about them, and ask them anything you want in the live chat. And don't be shy. I will give you just a couple of icebreakers to start a conversation. Ask them how they got their first customers. What are they doing at the moment? How can you even collaborate together? I'm sure you will get the inspiration of your own once you see them. At 3:30 p.m., we are meeting with the main stars of the day, a new inspiring regional startups who will pitch their ideas in front of the ecosystem jury and investors. After that, at 5:15 p.m., we will organize the interactive speed dating where founders will have a chance to hear more about the investment readiness program, entrepreneurial network, and collaboration with Impact Hub from the startups who have finished the program and are already part of our community. And we will close the day at 5:45 p.m. with announcing the winning startups. On the stage number 2, Audio Technologies Hackathon has already took place and 20 teams are competing in solving the challenge set up by Sounder FM. Unfortunately, this is the closed event due to technical execution of it, but we will make sure to keep you updated on our social media about their solutions and who won the cash prizes, so keep up with us even after the event. I will now give a word to the Studio X founder, Gaia Montelatici. Hello, Gaia.
Ciao, Gordana.
So the We Founders Live podcast is about to take place. I'm leaving you to enjoy it, and I'm reminding you to also visit the expo area in the meantime and talk to our startups. And I will see you later. I'm leaving you to Gaia, so the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Gordana. You explained so well what's happening and what we're going to expect today. So great overview of the agenda. Hello, everybody. As you know, I'm your host for the We Founders podcast that we actually kick off today. So far, we had online meetups, and now we're moving into also live podcasts. My guest is Marina. Marina, are you there? Ciao.
I'm here. Hello.
It's a great pleasure to have you. From our first conversations, I was so inspired by you, and I thought it would be amazing to share your story, your big vision with everybody from here. You are a gamer. You are a professional in the gaming industry. You have an amazing vision and a career that you're building. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
To jump into the heart of things right away, please share with us a little bit of how does it look like for you to work in the gaming industry?
Sure. Let me start it off by maybe doing an intro about how I made it here in the first place. I think considering my educational background, which was in languages and linguistics, the kind of trajectory that I took making it to the gaming industry was not maybe as linear as one might think. So I graduated from languages and linguistics at the University of Novi Sad, got my bachelor's and master's degree there. And obviously, I've always been fascinated by the power of language and how it kind of shapes us and into who we are and how we communicate with the world. And naturally, this kind of led me to explore the topics around psychology and psycholinguistics and to understand how the whole connection between the language and mind works. And then on top of that, I've always been very passionate about tech. This is a passion that I shared and still share with my dad. So we geeked out around like emerging tech gadgets when I was little. And basically, when I graduated, I remember thinking, I am cursed. I am never going to find a job where I'm going to be able to kind of merge these three interests and competencies. However, I guess my guardian angel had a good year that year, and I came across this opportunity in Malta to join a recruiting agency specializing in tech and iGaming, headhunting, basically working with tech and iGaming companies on the island. And here I remember the first 3 months in the role, every single day I thought I was dreaming. I couldn't believe that I got to be part of this ecosystem and finding this role that kind of so well and appropriately merged all of my interests. And over there, I got the chance to work with iGaming companies, which was a great opportunity for me to kind of move from being a passionate gamer as a young girl and then as an adult to working with gaming products per se. However, at one point, I realized that the thing that I was really passionate about was seeing people grow after they are hired. So giving people this chance to start a new life in a new role by headhunting them. And then actually I was losing touch with how they were contributing to the company's success because I was an external recruiter. So I knew my next step had to be moving into an internal position. And I wanted to be a part of a stronger tech scene in a way with where the whole startup tech scene was thriving. And that's how I came across, Colibri Games. And they were at that point a company that was only 2.5 years old. They had no recruiting in place, and what they had in mind for me was to start their recruiting function and to hire a team for myself, and at the same time to build the hiring processes from scratch. This was a very exciting challenge for me from many different aspects, of course. But one thing that was in particular important for me was the fact that the company, the change, the drive to change and iterate on things was in the company's DNA. And therefore, there was a lot of room for me to come in and work around the topics of diversity and inclusion in hiring, but on a company level as well, and really start exploring in which way we can create a process that was sort of embracing of everyone and everyone's identities. So to keep this brief, we're gonna go into this a little bit further. But this was kind of my path into the gaming industry from start to end.
That's fascinating. When you start to work with startups that are starting up and you have that ability to create new worlds, new businesses, new realities, right? So what are the games that you play, and who plays them with you? How does that look like?
Yeah. So the games that I'm constantly on the hunt for new games. Literally, it's an addiction for sure. And it doesn't help that I work in the industry and I get to kind of justify it by doing market research. But something that I'm testing out the games that Apple Arcade has been pushing through in the past few months, and that's been really fun for me. But one thing that I definitely want to mention is the game that I keep kind of going back to, and that is the whole The Sims collection. And the reason why I am doing this is because The Sims, very early on, like a decade back when I started playing it with The Sims 2, it was this game for me that allowed me for the very first time in gaming to see a fairer representation. And what I mean by that is that you could be in the game whoever you wanted to be. And the fact that this game is a game that simulates kind of real life and building out a real life with real relationships, connections, and so on, as we humans do, I think it really allowed me and many other people I learned afterwards when I became part of the Sims community, so to say, how people for the very first time felt like their stories were being told in a game, and that never lost its kind of special place for me. But when it comes to the people that do play the games, and who plays games out there, I think that the fact of the matter is that gaming as an industry is still heavily male dominated. So when we talk about who plays the games, I think it's necessary to talk about also who makes the games, because there's a very there's an unbreakable relationship between how the demand dictates the content that's being produced, and therefore we are experiencing in games, if you look at the games that are being created, is sort of a discrepancy between now the market that's going towards, for instance, women becoming a very dominant group as gamers. So we're now talking about around 45% of women represented in the kind of gaming, playing gaming gamers world, so to say. And on the other hand, we are seeing from that's from the consumer perspective, and from the production perspective, we see women in the industry still being represented at around less than 1/3 of the gaming professionals. And this is without kind of going further into women who might be women of color, who might be queer women or trans women. So that's even worse than when we start kind of going downwards when it comes to that. So I think it's really interesting to see kind of where the market is heading in terms of consumerism, and the games that are being played right now, but also at the same time, the games that the new audiences, the rising diversity audiences, the games that they are requiring companies to make, because they want to see themselves represented in the games that they are playing.
It's super interesting that you're pointing out to actually this disconnect and dichotomy, because the gaming industry is one of the first ones in the world that's really changing habits, and it's embedded in every aspect of our lives. And we always have the perception that it actually needs to be deeply connected with the trends from the market and the market audiences to be keeping being a leading industry and selling, right? So
yeah.
what you live in Berlin, and Berlin definitely is a very diverse environment. It's very upbeat, right? A lot of innovations come from there, new lifestyles and so on and so forth. So how do the community in Berlin sees this dichotomy you're talking about? Do they actually pay attention to it? What do you think?
Yeah, it's a really interesting thing to talk about, because, like you said, Berlin is a very interesting city. It's a city that was built and then rebuilt, and you have this like weird mixture of old and new, and this whole rebuilding of Berlin required sort of rebuilding the cultural norms. And I am super happy to see, at least from my perspective, that the new foundation that these new cultural norms were built on was actually heavily founded by diversity norms themselves that were integrated into this kind of rebuilding. And by that, I don't mean the obvious facets of diversity, like race and gender and sexual orientation, nationality, and so on. But I really truly mean diversity of thought, and that diversity, so to say, of self-expression. People just being comfortable in their skin, being comfortable being openly who they are. And what this meant and what it means for the gaming community, I believe, is that people are very open to trying out new things, to testing out the unknown, and that is something that I feel like is inherently part of us as gamers, uncovering what's behind the next level, what's behind the boss of a level, kind of a thing. And this really, I believe, unlocked the city's potential when it comes to embracing diversity in its most basic form. On the other hand, it does sound a bit kind of like pink, so to say, that we don't really that we've reached equity and equality when it comes to gaming and how talent is distributed, and that is absolutely not the case. Even, Berlin and expanding it to Germany as a first world country is still struggling when it comes to now to kind of focus on the binary when it comes to women in the industry being represented. Even though there are many initiatives coming out, even though there are, universities who are really working hard on pitching themselves to the female audience. And still we have to have these conversations, in 2021, we still sometimes have to pitch why it's important to improve these numbers. So I feel like there's a strong drive to continue moving forward, continue driving the change forward. It's slow, but it's moving. And for that reason, I must say I'm happy that I'm in Berlin when I decided to fight this fight, kind of a thing, because I really do believe that we have the chance to change the industry for the better.
Absolutely. As you say, we're never there, right? It's all in the journey, it's all in the making, and as long as we go deeper into what we want to achieve and uncover every day actually the beauty of the diversity and how that contributes to sustainable businesses and lives, it's going to take us to better places on a daily basis. So digging a little bit deeper now into the relationship between your values, diversity, where you live, and where you work. How does a value-driven career actually contributes to business goals?
Mm-hmm. So one of the things for me that was important when I decided to join Colibri Games was that my personal values, as well as professional values, of course, were corresponding with the way that the company was kind of talking about and living through their values. And for me, as an HR person, this is not going to be a surprise for anyone. It's a cliche. It was about people, and it was about how the company was perceiving the people function and the people topics to be of relevance, more relevance or less relevance for the success of the company. And I think I was quite lucky to be able to talk with the CEO in like my second step of the hiring process. Our former CEO Daniel, who back then really transferred this incredible passion for doing what's right by the people. And what I mean by that is not only when it comes to the employees, but for example, we strive, we say our mission is to become the most player-centric company in the world, which means that we essentially try to do what's right by the players, and we try to kind of serve our players. And the company, which is fascinating, founded by a group of 5 young guys straight out of university, working in a student flat during their studies, recognized from day one, we need to put the people at the center of every, from a consumer client perspective, but also internally too. And I've seen this value kind of being lived through the way that the founders themselves and the entire company, therefore following them as role models, was actually finding value in us as people feeling empowered and enthusiastic about serving the players and creating great things for the players in order to continue, building on this mission of really being people-centric. And that is one thing that, I believe companies can never fail with if they have this approach towards understanding what is their value proposition as a business and what are the values they want to exude, what are the values they want their people to see, and are they living through these values? I think this is one really important thing to say, because I check companies' career pages for a living, almost looking at competitors. And I cannot tell you how often I see companies listing values, because it's a cool thing to do, because even before you have a product, you have a value already. And there is so little insight into how these values are being lived through the business, and if the leadership of the company, the founders of the company, are actually really living through these values in a very action driven way. So I'd say this is one thing that I feel like people, for founders listening and trying to get some value out of values, people care about this a lot, and people will take you up on whatever you say your value is. So if you are going to put something out there and you want to make it your value, then make sure that you can live through that with your own actions and how you lead your business.
And it really shows in, the successfulness as well of Colibri, right? It's been acquired by the Ubisoft group, yeah? And
correct.
How long did it take them for that to happen? And how long have you been working in Colibri Games?
Yeah. So Colibri Games is Ubisoft's biggest acquisition. And considering that the company was founded right before our 4th birthday, so the company was a bit younger than 4 years when it was acquired, it's really a big success. And I've been with the company from April 2019, so a bit over 2 years. So I was already well into like my 1 year with the company when the acquisition happened. And it has been and it continues to be a very exciting time for us, because Ubisoft is obviously a gaming veteran. They are a company that has set into place so many standards about how to make great games and how to make games that resonate with people. And even though our focus is, mostly on, or actually exclusively serving the mobile gaming market, we, I believe, are learning so much from obviously the product and business perspective, but I can definitely tell you in terms of hiring and approaching people topics, hiring for diversity, that we are just kind of able to get all this wisdom from the mother company that, have the resources that were not available to us before. So it still continues to be a very exciting time for us.
Does your everyday work is different? Is it different now from when you started, from when Ubisoft, from the moment when Ubisoft actually acquired Colibri? Did that sort of startup vibe transform?
Yeah. So it is different. I am not sure if it's necessarily different because of the acquisition, but so I mentioned that I was hired to build my team and really start the recruiting function from scratch. And I've done that within that first year before we joined Ubisoft. And then I somehow feel like it was really the perfect timing once we've put aside these processes that are the foundation of a hiring function in a company, to actually have time to deal with topics that are a little bit more higher level, that are not low hanging fruit, that might not have an immediate business, but that are extremely important, that are there to drive change forward in terms of, for example, diversity and inclusion, and just hiring with that in mind, providing people with a fair process, a great candidate experience, no matter where they come from. And this has changed also in terms of having access to the resources that Ubisoft has been using before with companies. We, for example, rolled out a training on unconscious bias within the business, where we got trained by a Ubisoft partner that actually trains Microsoft employees on D&I, for instance, which we would never in a million years probably be able to kind of get access to as a 130 people startup. And this has really, this was kind of, this started end of last year for us, and we've had already a bunch of these workshops with every single person in the company. We're essentially doing this with everyone who joins the company. So this training that basically focuses on acknowledging how different we are as people and how we can become more aware of the differences between us so that we can get more united, if that makes sense, has been critical in understanding why we why when we say people are at the core of our business, we don't mean people as a whole. We mean people individually, the way they feel most comfortable in their skin. And we here at work want to create an environment that allows people to be exactly that, right? We don't want to put them into kind of a little silo. We want people to live through their values by connecting with our values. And this is something that I believe I was very excited when this training was rolled out, because it really changed, I think, the way that we see each other at work.
Before I ask you a little bit more about the relationships between Serbia and Germany, the places you've worked in the gaming industry, can you share some of the trends that are emerging right now in the industry?
Yeah. So one trend that I am definitely seeing more and more of, that's particularly interesting for me, is the fact that mobile gaming is reaching incredible digits right now in terms of market portions, when it comes to gaming, in terms of obviously financials, in terms of popularity, and due to smartphones being better and better, this has become accessible to a very wide pool of people. And gaming now as a form of recreation, more or less serious, take it as you will, has become available to people who from underrepresented groups who historically were not able to afford a console or were not able to go to a gaming club and game from there and pay by the hour. So what this has triggered in return is these people from underrepresented communities actually demanding to see themselves represented in the games that they play. And then in return, the companies have recognized that the tides are changing and that we no longer can afford, if we want to continue innovating in this industry and making money, we can no longer afford to neglect these people that were before so conveniently neglected because their access to gaming was quite limited. So I see now many young studios, indie studios, independent studios, and bigger companies who are, so to say, becoming more and more brave when it comes to what kind of games they produce and what kind of audience they kind of want to cater for, with products that before would probably be quite risky to put on the market, so to say, in terms of profit. And in return, people continue asking for more. They are now seeing that their voice started to matter. They are seeing that they do have some power over deciding whether they see themselves represented in the content they consume or not. And this goes beyond gaming, right? This goes on to like Netflix and the whole media industry. But essentially, I really believe that one trend we are going to see following this kind of consumerism boom in terms of diversity in gaming, that we're going to start seeing companies who do not start kind of translating this into their D&I initiatives and projects internally, so diversifying their workforce so that they can produce more diverse games. Those companies, I am certain, are going to be left behind. So my advice, I guess, would be for people from the other side of the camera who are listening, thinking about founding their own business or already having something along these lines. If you haven't started thinking about where diversity, inclusion, equity, and belonging fits into your company value proposal, into the foundation of how you run your business, the time to think about it was yesterday. So hop onto the train today, otherwise you're going to be left behind. And I'm saying this with all the love in my heart because I love seeing what's coming, what seems to be coming up in the future. And I really believe it's for the better for everyone, for the entire industry.
This is super exciting. I love the trend, and we're full on it as well. And even categories of traditional people like the investors, I think, are very much realizing the situation and investing more and more, right? In the that are diversifying their audiences, their mechanisms, their models, and everything to cater to the new markets. What
Absolutely.
kind of opportunity do you see with this emerging scenario for Serbia? It's
So
a hard
interesting.
question,
It's a great question, and let me tell you why I think so. So Serbia, in terms of gaming, has only started scratching the surface, right? I've seen tremendous things moving in the past 3 to 4 years, immense amount of innovation, huge drive to be part of the community in a very professional world transcending way, right? In a way that connects with who you are inherently. And for this reason, coupled with obviously with this passion that I'm seeing people have, coupled with what I really believe in Serbia, our universities and schools produce, which is amazing talent, I think we have a great opportunity to put ourselves on the map as one of Europe's gaming hubs. I honestly believe that. The thing that I would say would be very important, and I just mentioned it, for people who are founding companies, and I've seen this happen with the German gaming market. I'm seeing it happen now based on the SGA, Serbian Gaming Association report from 2020. Now is that, again, women are being left behind. And not only women, but going into more underrepresented talent that's currently not having a seat at the table. I understand how, people might not consider this to be convenient, especially in Serbia. We are not originally a country that has attracted diverse talent in its kind of widest form on the diversity spectrum. But at the same time, we have great examples from companies like Nordeus that has relocated people historically since forever. It can be done. It should be done. And you need to figure out how this fits into your business. And I'm not saying if this fits into your business, because this is going to fit into your business. It's just a matter of how you're going to make that work. And I'm saying this with certainty because if you go online, and now there's so many resources to calculate the business impact that building diversity into the foundation of your business strategy and growth plans is going to have, put that in an Excel sheet, calculate it, and see how much it's going to cost you if you do it without it. And then go ahead and look at strategies in which, in a way that you can implementing them in a way that's going to allow you as a business to actually start the process. Start small, start with baby steps. Doesn't need to be polished, doesn't need to be perfect. Nobody's doing it perfect. There's no magic formula. But it's important to show the willingness for the founding people, for the entrepreneurs in companies, executives to be the one drive the change forward, right? To role model look like. And then from then on, you're going to see once you fall into this trap of starting to deal with these topics, you're going to unlock incredible potential with your people, incredible productivity with your people, because they're going to feel like they belong. They belong with your company. Their values correspond to your values, and they belong in the industry. So this would be my unsolicited advice number 2, I guess.
This opens so many more questions, but I can only have one more for now. So our conversation will have to continue in a next episode and podcast with Wounder.
Sounds good.
But so what do you think you will want to see when you come next time to Serbia? In terms of a step forward from what you just described now, and how do you see yourself helping out in the process?
Super interesting question. So I think one thing that I would really love to see is a mindset change. And I'm saying this because the real change and kind of making progress is something that I've really seen firsthand in this industry that has for so long been dominated by one group of people is slow. And it is so painfully slow that sometimes you just feel like nothing's moving. And you put in the work, you see other lovely, great people around you put in the work, and yet still sometimes you just, there's something happens, a news comes out, and you just feel like we have moved one step forward and three steps back. So the thing that I feel like we need more of, and what I would love to see, is not one token initiative that's just a PR stunt, but is really a mindset shift into a new way of working with this new reality that we have at hand, with the talent being more accessible than ever before. Think about how you want to hire as a company, right? Think about whether you have to be office based. Think about if you were to consider hiring from other countries, having people potentially working remotely, establishing a small office somewhere else. Like, how many opportunities this is going to open up for you. What I don't want to see is, maybe going to that as well, is people telling me yet again, it's so hard. There's no people around. We post a job, women don't apply. We post a job, people of color don't apply. They are traumatized. You know, we live with a trauma that we are not wanted in this community. And yes, we don't proactively go and apply out there because we don't necessarily feel like there's a place for us in the industry. So once you understand that, and once you change your mindset around what's the level of comfort that we give to underrepresented communities in this industry, you start realizing you have to really start talking to people outside of your organization, inside your organization, and you have to do it from the heart. And you have to tell people what the state of your company is, even if you haven't reached equity in terms of numbers, even if you don't have, you're not donating to a cause, it doesn't matter. Talk to people about what you want to do moving forward and why this is a topic that matters for you. And this is something that I would love to be able to see. And from the stance of what I can do to support you there, reach out to me. I've spent like 20 minutes filling out my profile on Impact Hub, this event. There's everything you need to know over there, my links, my email, my LinkedIn profile. Reach out to me if you are in doubt about how to get started, if you need some resources about understanding, what's going to be the beginning, how should I think about this? Just talk to me. I'm super happy to just jump on a call and, let you know what worked for us.
Marina, the challenge is taken. It's on. We need to be so much more intentional, daring, and courageous, without, being so much scared of getting things right the first time. Nobody has ever been asked to do that.
Exactly.
So you're absolutely right. And I am absolutely happy to be inspired by you. And
thank you likewise, I have to say. I love what you're doing. I think it's tremendously important, and keep at it. And you have me at your disposal. You know that already.
I'm keeping your word for it. So hope you won't regret it.
Anytime. Pleasure.
Marina, thank you so much. I'm going to ask everybody just a couple of minutes, because actually Marina needs to shift setting together with the other jury members. So it's going to take us a couple of minutes to reorganize the studio. Thank you for being there, and I'll see you in just 5.
Thank you.
Hello, we are back. So moving forward to the pitching, we have received quite a number of applications from startups all over the Western Balkan region, and we have selected 7 best startups that will have the opportunity to pitch and get expert advice from our mentors and experts from the startup ecosystem, and the possibility to enter selection process for the investment readiness program with the aim to meet their matching investor at the end of the journey. Speaking of the investors, they will be a part of the audience as well and carefully listening to our startup ideas. We are excited to hear the pitches, as this is the first time that we will hear them as well. And just before we start, let's do a short reverse pitch. I would ask first investors and then jury members to introduce themselves, covering 4 questions. In front of which organization are you coming? Why are you happy to be on the jury? What do you expect to hear this time? And 1 piece of advice to the founders who will be pitching soon. So let's start with the investors. I'll start from StudiX Ventures, Gaia. Hello, Gaia, you're there? Okay, we'll just wait a minute for Gaia to come. And we're moving forward to Angels for Impact, Marco Nannini. Hello, Marco.
Hello.
So can you just please answer to our 4 questions? In front of which organization are you coming? Why are you happy to be on the jury? What do you expect to hear this time? And 1 piece of advice to the founders who will be pitching today.
Okay, so I'm Marco Nannini. I come from Impact Hub Milano. I'm the CEO of the Impact Hub Milano, but I am the president and co-founder of 2 group of business angel. One is called Angel for Women, that it's a group of women, female business angel that invest only in female startup. The other one is called Angels for Impact. That of course invest in impact business. Both are based in Italy, not only Milano. Milano, it's the Impact of Milano in reality is the company that manage Milano, Torino, and Florence in terms of Impact Hub, and we have the group of business angel spread not only in this city but spread all over Italy. And it's a long history. The collaboration with Impact Hub Belgrade. Sorry. So it's I'm very happy to be here. And the other 2 questions.
What are you expecting to hear from the founders today?
What I expect it's a nice startup where it's possible to invest, but for sure I'm quite sure that there is some entrepreneur very proud to be here to present to me and to all the other investors. So I'm search for a team very committed on his business.
Thank you, Marco. It's always a pleasure talking to you. Gaia, would you please introduce yourself as well?
Hi, everybody. I'm Gaia Montelatici. I'm the GP of Studio X Ventures. We're just established last year. We did our first investment, and we're looking for 5 more by the end of 2021. We're looking at seed opportunities on startups from the Western Balkans that have a big vision to enter into big markets, and we can help with the advisory from the big markets and seed investments. So I'm really interested into really amazing founders, diverse founders from this region where women do take the lead and who are really set on a visionary journey. So
thank you,
looking
Gaia.
forward.
Thank you, Gaia. We're looking forward as well. So a familiar face to us, Zvezdana Bajic from We Angels. Hello, Zvezdana. Zvezdana, can you hear us? I suppose not. Okay, so let's move forward. Claudia Fasolo, Impact Startups Incubator.
Hello, my name is Claudia. I'm from Milano, and I'm here to represent Impact Hub Milano as Marco.
Hello. Okay, so the 4 questions, I have them in front of me. Yeah, I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear. Can we just wait for Claudia to finish?
Now?
No problem.
Now it's better?
It's better. Okay, Zvezdan, we will just wait for Claudia to finish, and I will go back to you as well. Claudia, please just...
Okay, can I go on? Okay. I'm the Managing Director of Impact Hub Milano. Marco said before everything about Impact Hub Milano. Impact Hub Milano is a certified incubator focusing on social impact. So I'm here. I'm expecting to see something, some startups focused on social impact, and so curious to see if in Belgrade there are some startups on the social impact. Welcome.
Sorry, you wanted to say something else?
No, that's fine. It's okay.
Okay, thank you. Zvezdana, can you hear us now? Is the connection better? Okay, I guess not. So we are moving on to the jury then. And if we have a chance, we'll hear Zvezdana again. Now to the ecosystem jury. You already had a chance to meet Marina Ivanovic from Colibri Games, but maybe just a short intro on what you expect from the founders as well.
Sure. Thank you again for having me. It is my first time being a part of such a jury, and I am very excited to kick off this journey from all these amazing companies that I had the chance to briefly check before the meeting.
But I'm not sure if you can hear me.
Hello, Zvezdana. Can you hear us now better, or is it still delayed? Okay, it's delayed. We're moving on.
All right. One thing that I am really excited about is that I've seen many of the startups today not only having the courage to start during Corona, but to also find a way to thrive in these challenging times. And I'm very excited to hear a bit more about that. And my advice would be, I would say, you are all here because you're the best out of all the people who applied. So just be brave and show us what you got.
Great, thank you so much. Sonia Ari from Ericsson. Hi, Sonia, are you here?
Hi. Yeah, I'm Sonia, but I'm not from Ericsson. I'm standing in front of my own organization, let's sort of speak. So I'm actually in transition from corporations environments such as Ericsson towards maybe finding some more suitable role and helping startup community. So that's my current mission. And for the last 15 years, I've been working for telco industry in different positions and also in different international companies, from Telenor to VIP Mobile, actually now A1 Serbia and A1 Slovenia, Telekom Austria Group in Vienna, as well as Ericsson. And my background is actually that I'm Master of Science of Telecommunications, but throughout these 15 years, I also switched towards product development. And yeah, so my message to these wonderful companies who are really brave to start their own businesses is like, I'm very excited and proud to be part of this journey, since this is my first experience as well. But also my message to them is like, be brave and you will make it.
Great, thank you so much, Sanya. We're moving on to the saga, Nebojša Bjelotomić. Hello, Nebojša. I would just kindly ask you to unmute, please.
So that helps. Thank you. I'm glad to be here. My first time as well. So looking forward to a new experience. I guess the first question was why I'm here, and the core answer would be because I got invited. But let's just say that I'm running Saga, which is one of the biggest system integrators in Serbia. I worked for IBM, for Fujitsu, for Siemens. I was educated in the United States. So I was in multinationals and big companies in the Balkan markets. I invested in the smaller companies. So I guess I have this span of various IT backgrounds under one hat. Regarding what I expect, always is great expectation to see good ideas brought up by energetic people. So I hope to meet these founders who believe in themselves and have great ideas. And my message to them, you can stay calm, so stay calm.
That's great, and especially because of the time limit, so no comment there. But yeah, I guess you're not here only because we invited you then, right? Still unmuted.
So again, no, there are certainly clear expectations to meet and hear good ideas. For me, startups are always the places of knowledge and faith. So I hope to find people who believe in themselves and who can share their great ideas.
Great, thank you so much. So now a very familiar face, Marko Dombic, our portfolio manager. Hi, Marko.
Yeah, hi, Gordana. Thank you. Happy to be here for the third time. Yeah, and hope to see some nice pitches and presentations. And as always, keep it simple and have fun. Yeah.
Thanks. Always short.
Yeah.
Then I would like to hear more from Alexander Tutulic.
Hi, everyone. My name is Alexander. I'm currently in Lisbon, Portugal, where I've been living for 5 years and working for for and with startups and startup ecosystem. So a little bit about myself. I have been working in marketing and branding background for like 15 years. For the last 5 years, I've been working in startup ecosystem in Portugal. And I actually got in touch with Gaia, and here's a special shout out to Gaia and to being so responsive and nice. I got in touch with Impact Hub with an idea to kind of make a connection maybe between the Serbian ecosystem and the Portuguese startup ecosystem. So that is my first expectations from today. Let's try to make some kind of connection. And since this is my first time, I'm very, very, very keen on hearing about the startups and the services and products that the startups will present. And if I have any kind of advice for them, is just keep it short and simple. The simpler, the better. So yeah, and have fun. Always have fun. So we'll talk more. Thank you very much.
Alexandra. We're looking forward to building this bridge together between Belgrade and Lisbon. I would now like to hear more from David Friel, Entrepreneurial Handbook.
One day you'll get that company name right. It's going to be another 6 months. I'm David. I run Entrepreneur Handbook, which effectively I think is the second largest information platform for SMEs. So we're about anything in between, and now I effectively live in Belgrade in Impact Hub 6 days a week at the moment. So this is how these guys know me. But yeah, what was the second question?
The second question was actually, why are you happy to be on the jury?
I mean, the same thing as the chap from Sagi you asked, and it seemed interesting.
And what do you expect to hear from the founders?
Realistic valuation would be the nicest thing to ever hear, but I don't know if it will happen.
Sorry, the internet broke for a second. Can you just repeat the last part?
Don't worry, it's one of those things you can't say. No, it'll be interesting to see what there is, and see what they're doing, and see, yeah, if there's anything interesting, effectively.
Great, thank you, David. So I hope, fingers crossed, that Zvezdana fixed her internet problems. Hi, Zvezdana, can you hear us?
I think so, but I don't know if you can hear me.
Great, we hear you.
Oh, finally. Okay, good. I'm sorry, I don't know what happened. I was hearing you and everything was late. It was very weird. Okay, so hi, everybody. I am Zvezdana. I'm in front of We Angels here. I will keep it simple because it was complicated enough. I'm here to hear something smart, something simple, something that doesn't necessarily have to change the world. It's enough that it earns money. And what was the fourth question? Remind me.
What do you expect? So you already answered it, I guess.
Okay, so I answered. Then I will leave the stage to you.
Great, thank you so much. And of course, Claudia already introduced herself. So do you have anything else to add, maybe? Okay, I guess not. We are then moving forward. So note to the jury. Please let us know if you have a link to the jury score sheets. In case you didn't get it, just please write to Pavle in the chat or via email, and he will send it straight away to you. And to the startups, just please rename yourselves to your first name, last name, and your startup name, so it would be easier to find you among other people as well. And now the ground rules for the startups. You will be sharing the screen with your pitch deck, and you will have 5 minutes to pitch and 5 minutes for Q&A from the jury. I will be measuring the time with a stopwatch, and we will be very, very strict about the time limit. So there's no additional seconds, just so you know, in case we mute you or we stop you at some part, we actually mean it. So let's start with INTV Tech. Hello, Milenko, are you ready to start?
Yes, hi everyone. So Milenko and Ognjenikovic here. So hi. We are these two black silhouettes right now. Sorry for the bad lighting, but this is a fixed set for us. So Ogjen and myself, we are founders of INVT, and we are going to pitch the solution called Proce. Let me just share the screen.
Great.
And let me know if you can see the screen.
Just wait a second for it to upload.
Well, sorry.
Okay, we can see it now. Just make it a full screen and let me know when you would like to start.
Okay, is it in full screen now?
It is now.
Okay, so basically my colleague Ognen is going to pitch. He is our main pitcher, so I'm giving the floor to him.
Thank you, Milenko. So we can start.
Okay, starting the time.
Our world has moved online. We have on average 67 applications on our mobile phones. We have 7 social media accounts and more than 120 online accounts on average. But these accounts are not all about networking and games. COVID crisis has forced us to work remotely. Our children now takes classes online. Financial services, health, home security, governance, and all other mission critical services are now provided online. So what seems to be the challenge? We are entering into agreements with all these service providers by accepting their privacy policies and terms of service without the slightest idea what we agreed to or how our data is going to be used. We do not have a record of what terms we accepted and whether our and our children's privacy is protected. To make things worse, in most cases, nor do the service providers. As a solution, we created ProSe, AI-based digital legal assistant. With ProSe, you get an immutable blockchain archive of your online agreements. We analyze privacy policies and visually provide key takeaways relative to your privacy protection preferences. With ProSe, you know if a mobile app you have installed violates your privacy by having permissions to access the data on your phone, which are not relevant to app's core functionalities. You may ask, why does this matter? Have you heard about the Zoom bombing term? It refers to the unwanted disruptive intrusion into a video conference call. The COVID pandemic forced many people to stay at home, and video conferencing came to be used on a large scale by businesses and schools. Prior to pandemic, a relatively small number of people even knew about the Zoom app. Then just in March last year, Zoom was used by 200 million users. What we all didn't know is that Zoom was recording our meetings, analyzing the content for marketing purposes, and sharing our private meetings and LinkedIn with LinkedIn and Facebook. Distinguished members of the jury, our current call is hosted by Zoom. And the question that is bothering us is how many other Zoom bombings are out there waiting to happen. So instead of waiting for the next big Zoom bombing or Cambridge Analytica scandal, ProSe is here to act proactively and prevent them from affecting your privacy or your business in the first place. Our company is fully bootstrapped and we are proud of what we have accomplished so far. We launched MVP in beta in December last year, which focuses on building the archive of the accepted online agreements. We are one of the winners of the Serbian Innovation Fund mini grant program, a one-year co-financing project. We have received the seal of excellence by the EU Commission for a highly innovative solution, and we have gathered more than 55,000 of online privacy policies to feed our AI models. We have two segments of target customers and users of mobile apps and online services. Here we further segment customers to individual accounts, where our entry points are tech-savvy people and people with a low background who understand the importance of privacy protection, and business accounts. Actually, companies have in place security and privacy policies regarding which tools and services their employees can use on their business phones and PCs. But the number of tools required for efficiently doing our jobs keep increasing, and it's hard to keep track of what's safe and what is not. ProSe business account can help them make the right choices by vetting each tool in minutes rather than weeks and protect their business against confidentiality breaches. The second main revenue stream is actually, we have service and application providers with early adopters being companies offering tools and services relative to daily business activities, health, finance, and apps for children. We will provide them with a sandbox for testing and improving of their privacy policies without the need for extensive legal help, like a rating system for privacy policies. Our business model for individual accounts is based on a freemium subscription fee with a free archive of online agreements and €10 yearly subscription fee for unlimited access. For business accounts, the yearly subscription fee will be €36. For our B2B solution, Sandbox will be available with pay-per-use business model. And we have a fairly small number of direct competitors. Some of them, like Prebot and Terms of Service didn't read, you can see on this slide. However, the market is crowded with indirect competitors offering services in the domain of aligning privacy policies with GDPR. Our main competitive advantages are mobile app compliance, immutable archive of accepted agreements, and support for cross-referencing user preferences with the online agreements and permissions used by mobile apps. Vetting of tools and services for business accounts will also be our unique selling point, and none of these value propositions are provided by our competitors. Our team is growing. Milenko and I are committed to the project.
We are out of time, so I think we can stop here. Shame we didn't make it to the end. It seems like a very clear and interesting idea, but let's try to see more through the questions from the jury. Are there any questions for Ognjen and for Milenko?
Well, if I may, Alexander speaking. Ognjen and Milenko, thank you very much for the presentation. I think it's a very good presentation. I think you have a very good product. I'm like very, very nicely surprised. I don't have basically any questions. I mean, you have clearly presented the target audience. You have very good insights. Your value proposition is clear. I mean, as clear as it can get, because I'm not a tech guy, but I understand that you have a very clear value proposition. You have a very clear business model. If it's true that competitors don't have what you have, then even better. I just think that legal tech and AI-based legal tech is huge now everywhere in the world. And I just have one question, like you have done this with the amount of only with one grant, or what are the investments that you have got so far?
So far we are fully bootstrapped. So we invested our own funds, and in December last year we got this grant. It's actually a co-financing program that lasts 1 year, and with these funds we are already managed to build the archive. So it's an MVP that's already available for Android on Google Play Store. We'll be launching iOS application in a few days as well. But the second part, actually the paid part of the service with providing the insights based on the AI models, that's something that we'll be launching at the end of this year.
Okay, so basically only 60K plus your own money, bootstrapping, and you managed to do this?
Yes, our own money, our time, and 60K, yes.
Amazing. I really like your idea, and I really like your product, and I think the internationalization of your product, like AI-based legal tech, is huge everywhere in the world. And developing your product, you should think about internationalization for sure. So maybe launching an app on you know, I mean, we can talk about it, but very good. Thank you very much for the presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey guys, cool to jump in?
Sure.
Yes, of course.
What are you applying for a patent for, or is it multiple patents?
For patents?
Yeah.
We did initial search for the patent landscape when we were submitting a proposal for the SME instrument for European Commission because it was mandatory, and the patent landscape did not yield similar solutions. So this is quite definitely a potential, and we do have from previous experience in work in this technology field some experience with submitting patent applications. So this is definitely a possibility, not in our focus at the moment. But yes, something that
is something that was mentioned in the use of funds. So I was curious, like what part of the process are you patenting, or are you patenting the whole system as a whole?
At this point, everything that we've done, it's an engineering secret, so we have not patented anything.
Okay. All right. Yeah, no, that was the only one. It's a cool pitch. I mean, it's the kind of thing OneTrust acquire at one point, right? Or some big player in the privacy market to integrate blockchain into what they're already doing to an extent.
Yes, so we are applying blockchain in terms that we are building this archive of your online agreements, and we want to store it on an immutable blockchain. So eventually it may be considered, for instance, as evidence or proof in some cases and things like that.
Yeah, as a publisher, I can tell you that's interesting, because if we lose access to our GDPR or privacy software or so forth, we lose permission effectively. We can't prove it. So the integration of blockchain from a publisher point of view is very, very good. And it can be shared across many different networks to provide privacy and permissions across different apps and websites. So yeah, I'm down. Seems cool.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Great, we have less than a minute, so in case anyone has like a very short question and answer, we can move with it.
I'm not sure if I picked it up or didn't pick it up. How much money are you asking, and for what?
We did not disclose that in the slides and in the pitch, but basically at this stage we are looking for 400K euros, as an investment to scale the solution, to finalize these deep learning mechanisms for natural language processing, to open additional markets, because this is now English oriented. We want to tackle at least 2 more European languages so that we can broaden the market, and additionally, of course, prepare this production grade solution with all the cloud hosting, with necessary security and scaling, and employ additional people. So this is the investment that we are looking for to definitely scale the company so that we can accommodate our first vision of having 10,000 users, and then based on this user base start opening new revenue channel for business to business in this in a form of a sandbox for assessing the quality of privacy policy from small companies and other startups who want to publish their applications, things like that. So this is the current vision.
And we are out of time as well. So thank you guys, you're really great. We will have to keep moving forward so everyone can make it in time. We are now
Thank you.
Thank you. So we are now going to hear the Gluck. Vladimir Jojo, are you there?
Hello, everybody. This is Vladimir Jojo. I saw Mr. Bielotomic, and I wish to say hi to him after a long time. Yeah, Nebojša, it's nice to see you. It was nice to see you. I know Nebojša from some other company, but I'm really glad that he is now together with us. So let's go to, may I go further to our presentation?
Of course, yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so my name is, as I said, Vladimir Jojo, and I'm the founder of the company Global Digital Marketing Programs, which is presenting today platform Gluck. But this is first slide, and I have to go to the first one. Just a sec to get back.
At the time.
I don't know why. Just a sec. Sorry. Okay. So we are talking about Gluck. Gluck platform is actually, let's call it, new generation of loyalty and shopping platform, which is presented through which is actually meeting the challenge of on the market. We notice on the market that usually loyalty programs, especially apps, loyalty apps, are not very effective and not bringing very good traction to businesses. And also they are not very attractive to users due to because they are pretty commercially driven. So that means that users are always pressured with a lot of commercial messages, and that's why usually users are abandoning the apps, and those apps are not creating good traction, commercial traction. We noticed on the market at the time we started, and at the time we promoted this new format called GoCoin, we noticed that application called Sweatcoin that was actually rewarding user for its movement, actually for the steps they are making, and we decided to create the similar principles in front of and similar journey in front of the end user to reward him for his physical moving, and to move his attention from something that is strictly commercial to something that is very lifestyle driven, and that shows on the market to be pretty well accepted, and it shows that is actually working. So our users are moving and creating out of this movement. We are rewarding them with the so-called Go coins. This is kind of virtual currency that is then used to point attention of our users to commercial offerings of our partners in the app. So what is the whole idea was to as I said, to put the user into kind of rewarding scheme that is committed to something that he is doing on a daily basis, that is helping him to measure the activity and to know how actually this activity is this activity is bringing the benefits, not only benefits but very, very concrete earnings. So it is also commercially driven, but this is like a second attention is not fully committed to commercial offering, but to lifestyle offering. And on the other side, thanks to that, we are capable, to appoint the attention thanks to the value system we have to the commercial world of our partners. So our users, after they earn Go coins, they could spend Go coins and real money into real well-developed commercial part of the app. So on business-wise, we are offering really easy access to all known formats of loyalty and mobile commerce. So use any client willing to start with really potent and really effective direct marketing or loyalty programs could do that within just 24 hours and could customize its program and its direct marketing activity really easy through our dashboard. What is important, we managed to create really good traction because of the value system we promoted. So we have about, you may see the numbers. So the total number of engaged users is about 360,000. Unique app users, we have about 230,000. And those important numbers for the app are that average some minimum we had in monthly active users was about 66,000 and in the maximum was about 38,000 monthly. Daily, we are going from 1,000 to 16,000, and I think that these numbers are really not only unique, but the best numbers that one app manages to achieve on these Eastern European markets. We are monetizing users through the of course GoCoin value system, but also through AdMob that is embedded. On the B2B side, we are monetizing services and that are offered through the dashboard. So our clients that are actually accessing the marketplace and its features.
We're unfortunately out of time.
We are out of time. Okay.
Yeah, stop. Sorry for that. It's not easy to be a timekeeper in this situation.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can go through the jury questions now and use our time wisely in terms of answers and questions. Any questions from the jury?
I have.
Never
hear me?
Hello, never
Hey, hi. Good to see you after a really long time. Just to ask you a question that's probably on everybody's mind. And what are you looking for?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, now we are looking opportunity to grow because at the moment we have a footprint on those 5 markets you may see on the screen. The best, of course, in Serbia, where we started, but we are also developing very successfully in Slovenia, Croatia, Bosnia, and Montenegro. We believe that certain investment could make us straighten the customer base we currently have and also client base we currently have. These are you may see on the screen the brands that are currently or that were using our platform. And we believe that with that investment, we could straighten also the technology in terms of automatization of the acquisition in B2B arena and also in the B2C arena. So what is important to know that we are mature platform. We really have traction on both sides, both on B2B and on B2C side. And now we wish to improve that in order to get much more merchants and much more customers. I mean active users. First stage is we see that we could get about 500,000 up to 1 million users in the region, what we are aiming to do, and further, if possible, to go on a wider level, like European-wide or maybe even global-wide.
Cool if I jump in for a second. I just had a question. Thanks. David, by the way, nice to meet you. It says here 130,000 active users, but 5K MMR. Like in terms of getting to 1 million users, are you looking at a much higher revenue level per user? Could you explain that?
Yes, all the time. Since we were never accessing any investor capital, so the whole growth of our platform was fully organic. So all the earnings we had in our business, we returned back in the development. The idea was to reach the maturity in terms of available features on the B2B side, and to be capable to meet any possible requirements. So actually, we were all the time in some kind of fully committed development of technology and less committed development of the business. Now we prove all things and we are ready for the market, and we believe that all those revenues could be boosted with a certain quality B2B approach to.
I mean, I would look at the business model, because any investor's going to see 130,000 users and 5K MMR and be like, what's wrong? Like, why is the revenue so low per person or per brand and so forth? Mm-hmm. And I know some people doing this in this space, and they're doing it online, offline, intermixed sensors, everything. It's a very difficult place to monetize. And you're right, it's about scale. Like, you need to get to a certain point. But like, I would say that's going to be your hurdle with raising. It's just getting that revenue up per user and justifying it and saying, okay, if you put in 500K, then we can increase the revenue per user 350% off this avenue, this avenue, this avenue.
Exactly. If I may, I had exactly the same question as David, and if I would advise for you to kind of shift a bit of the numbers. So don't show. You need to focus on increasing the value per user. So maybe you can kind of focus on a certain industry or in several industries that you would cover with loyalty programs, not having such a diverse. Pool of clients, but and then your metrics would be a little bit more concrete. It wouldn't be this sort of vanity metrics, right? But in terms of the pitch itself, I just one comment. Just keep it simpler. I think it should be simpler, and I think your value proposition should be much clearer. So, what is your value proposition? How to actually do it? Because somewhere along the way, and you haven't even presented the entire thing, somewhere along the way I just got lost and I couldn't remember what I heard, and so keep it simpler. But I think your product is actually very, very, very marketable, and especially B2B. Thank you for the presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. We are unfortunately out of time. You're really great. Let's keep it simpler and just let's use our time wisely when it comes to answers and questions, just to keep it short and very concrete. Now we are moving forward to the Relaxify app. Hello, Alexander, are you there?
Sorry, just jump in quickly. Can we just do a reminder for 5 minutes, because we missed part of the last two presentations. I'd really like to hear the whole thing.
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Can we do a reminder for startups to stick to 5 minutes, because I'd really like to hear the whole pitch. We're only getting like maybe 80% of it now.
Sorry, I didn't hear you well.
Sorry, can we remind startups like they've got 5 minutes, because we're only hearing part of the pitch?
Yeah, you have 5 minutes.
As they present, just remind them you have 1 minute left or 2 minutes left, or something like that. So
okay, so let's move on to the Relaxify app. I will remind you before 1 minute before the end.
Hi, I'm Alex. I will try to keep it on time and to do it even shorter if it's possible. Could you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So as I said, I'm Alex from Relaxify, science-based app for mental fitness and well-being. Did you know that 970 million people are facing mental health disorder, and this is the number from 2019, and of course the number is growing. After the COVID-19 pandemic, we are expecting the new pandemic of mental health disorder pandemic. The reasons are obvious. All the lockdowns that happened all around the world, all the problems that this pandemic made is what we are facing. What we want to resolve is the problems of millennials and Z generation: burnout, depression, post-traumatic stress, and anxiety. How we do that? First of all, we are evaluating mind health condition. Then we offer personalized games and exercises. And of course, at the end, tracking the progress of the improvement. So we defined 4 well-being scores, 4 dimensions: emotional, physical, cognitive, and social. And according to them, we are improving the well-being of the persons. So we are small, but very efficient and experienced team. Tome is expert in psychology. He has set it up European Federation of Psychology and Association. Additionally, we have 4 psychology experts that are working for our games and exercises. Johan is expert in technology. He is ex-European Central Bank IT architect. Additionally, of course, we have more developers developing the app, and me, myself, developing the business. This is my 3rd startup, and I have proven track of building and managing top talent teams. Of course, marketing is something that we have it additionally, and we are doing mostly digital marketing. So Relaxify app, of course, have competitors. These are some of the top players on global level. How we distinguish from them? First of all, we are tracking improvements, and we would offer psychology expert therapy. The potential is huge. 240 billion is blue ocean mental health market. And if we just take 1% of the market share, we will achieve 250 million revenue. So business model is simple: subscription for 4.99 euros monthly. So we are live 90 days. We have launched Android app, and we have already 3,000 users and 30 subscriptions. We are part of the Google Advisor program. It's a dedicated program for mentorship. And we were chosen in top 10 well-being apps by the Android Fitness magazine. So we have big dreams. As I said, we have launched Android app. iOS app is something that we are preparing and will be launched in the next quarter. For the next year, we are developing AI analyzer. Of course, the data that we will collect from the users now will be used for this AI analyzer, and developing psychology marketplace next year is something that we want to do it, which will bring a new revenue stream. So what we are, thank you. We are looking for 200K for finishing up iOS app, and of course the growth of the user base, and more exercises and converting the users into premium users of subscription. So far, we have bootstrapped from friends and family. We didn't get any financing yet. So we are expecting this 200K in just 1 year to grow exponentially as we do it so far. So we can do this together. Please try our app on the Android App Store, and please contact me if you have any further questions. Thank you.
Great. We have 10 seconds even extra, so we can move straight.
For the questions.
I guess the reminder works. So we can move straight to the jury questions. I'm starting the timer.
Just a quick one. One comment, actually. Thank you for putting the team slide first, or around the beginning. A lot of people often miss that, and to me, it's most of the value in an early stage company and who are you dealing with and who's going to grow it. So I continue doing that. because it sells it.
Thank you.
I think if I remember correctly, most psychiatrists and is it psychiatrists or therapists will say to you, first of all, when you go into a session, how are you sleeping? Because if you aren't well rested and if you aren't sleeping well, then you can't work with them to improve your mental health. So is sleep something that you're building into the app, or do you regard that as a completely separate category or something you'll build in later?
So one of the things that we distinguish from our competitors is they offer more one-way exercises, which is meditation where you just hear and don't do or doing like thinking about it. Most of the exercises that our users are using are like doing the games, like more like gamify, so two-way of directions. Sleeping is something that we offer at the moment. We have some exercise for meditation and for sleeping. But from the data that we have it, even though it's not huge data, we see that most of the users want to use these two-way interaction games.
Okay, thank you. One last follow-on. Like you were saying, you clearly know the competitors in the space, but like, and this seems to come down right now. There's not any technology that you can say, okay, this is ours, we can patent it, this is unique or ahead. I saw that on the roadmap, which was interesting in terms of the deeper sentiment analysis. But right now, do you see this as a land grab in terms of like focusing on the arena of the Balkan area and basically raising capital and growing like crazy?
Exactly. That's our goal. I mean, growing as fast as possible, first of all on the European market and then globally.
Really liked it. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a couple of questions. The first question you can answer to me really quickly because I have many. So first question is, what is exactly the offer for those 4.99 euros per month? So what is the user getting?
So we have freemium and premium exercises. Freemium is where you get mind health conditions and some of the exercises, but for the premium you get more exercises where you could reach more better improving of the mind health condition.
Okay, and is there in any case, or I just misunderstood it, direct contact with psychotherapists?
Yes, that would be. It's one for the next year. Where we're gonna open a marketplace. Yes. So marketplace, you know, is a chicken egg problem. So on one side, we need the users who will use this, who will want to connect to the psychologists, and on the other side, psychology experts. So if we have already the users that will use our subscription model and use our exercises, it's easily to build the other side of the marketplace and then connect both of them. For the marketplace, we'll additionally get revenue. So we will work on a commission fee.
Okay, and the third question, is there a language factor included? So are those exercises and everything that is done led by the language, and which language in case if yes? And if not, then how are you doing them? Can you do the exercises without understanding any language, basically?
Yes, now the app is on English because we are focusing on a global scale. Vocalization of the app on different languages is planned as well. So it's important to know the English. First of all, a lot of people around Europe, the statistic says 85% of the Europeans know the English language.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, vocalization will be helpful to open new markets for the second, like a second language. We are planning to do it on German because that's kind of the second market that we want to open.
And yes, we are out of time as well. Thank you so much, Alexander.
Thank you.
We'll be moving forward to This is Better with Ursha.
Hello.
Hello. Let us know when you're ready and I can start the timer.
Yeah, great, thanks. I'm ready, so you can start.
Starting?
Yeah, you can start. So, hi, I'm Ursha, and I'm in love with advertising. I have been working in this field for 20 years, and during that time, I have been helping the clients, the advertising agencies to make better ads which would sell more. And if we want to make better ads, we need to have a lot of data, knowledge about the consumers. And we get that knowledge with marketing research. Of course, different types of marketing research do exist. None of them focuses on visual marketing, but they should. World is visual. Consumers are visual beings, and visual marketing solutions are the important and effective ones. So business to customers, companies do have a problem because existing researches are time-consuming, expensive, complicated, non-structured, and that's why it is hard to include them into daily marketing operations. For solving this problem, we have developed This is Better. That's an online research solution that makes marketing research fast, affordable, simple, and sexy. Companies select the most appropriate research and place order in a minute. They can insert ads, videos, packaging, logos, or any other visual solutions and customize other elements of the research. System automatically check the solution with the real and relevant consumers who are paid for their participation. Companies can start tracking those results immediately, and they automatically get the final report in 2 days. Since we offer a holistic and structured approach to the report includes score, it means customer evaluation of an ad and ideas for improvement. In beta version, we also collect emoji feedback, eye tracking, and facial emotion recognition. And this is why it's better. Companies can do in-house research, use research agencies that are expensive, complicated, or find some solution in the middle. We will disrupt this industry with 3 main advantages. It means we are building great consumers database. We focus only on visual communications, and we research emotional responses. The market has a huge potential of 53 billion euros, and it is still growing. At the moment, we cover 5 countries, and 10 new will be opened in a year. We have more than 20 clients with around 1,000 euros monthly revenue. At the end of next year, monthly recurring revenue will be 140k euros. Our pricing is prepared for different type of clients, and we are focusing on subscription concept, where we try to implement researchers in marketing departments for weekly usage. We make profit since the price for the consumer research for the client is 5 times higher than the payment to the consumer. We are searching for 400k euros. In the following 18 months, we need to build mobile app and upgrade some approaches for visual research so that we can boost sales. We will also start with AI technology, which could at the end generate the best ad based on the data in our system. And who knows, maybe creative directors, designers will not be needed anymore. Together with Janine, we are the co-founders, and there are 8 additional experts in our team. We are executing really complicated tasks to provide simple solution to the clients. And I'm thrilled about the future of This is Better. Thank you.
Great, you had more than an extra minute. So
oh, okay, then I can answer more questions.
yeah. Okay, so let's start with the jury questions. I'm gonna start the timer.
In terms of the advertising, like the visual is one aspect of it, and it's extremely important. I agree. We have a lot of clients I deal with whose creative teams are quite frankly idiots who can't use Photoshop to save their lives. But the actual placement of the ad and depending on the creative intermixes, are you planning to compensate for that? Or are you just saying, okay, we're going to design a great visual and it can work in these locations and this is what conversion you'll look for that? Or is that not considered at the moment?
Yeah, one of our plan is to also to include different system where the ad is being placed, because at the moment we are checking the ad appearance, the brand appearance and everything, but we have to connect that also with online and offline mediums.
Yeah, if you can intermix that with placement testing, there's a lot of value in that. I literally have a client for you actually right now, one of our advertisers who I'm having a nightmare with because they keep designing terrible things and sending it to me. And I keep saying no, and they keep saying we're paying you money, and I keep saying I don't want my site to look shit.
Okay.
Yeah, but a cool pitch. Yeah.
Thanks.
Alexander speaking. I really like it. Thank you for the presentation. I think the product is good. I just want to confirm. So this is basically like an online real-time focus group for ads, right?
Yes.
Because so I think it's I think you can kind of scale it maybe in the next stage or whatever. Not only focusing on ads, on advertising, but also maybe focusing on product development or product research. Like I have been a brand manager for years and years and years before in Kniaz Miloš and some other companies. And for me as a marketeer, the insights are the most important component of any strategy, like literally the most important component. So the more in good quality insights based on AI or whatever tech you want to use, you can provide, the better your product is. Mm-hmm. So instead of only providing insights on ads, maybe in this stage, like stage 1 can be that, but stage 2, stage 3, when you scale up, you can, my advice would be to kind of scale up to products and maybe innovation and stuff like that.
And at the moment we are offering part of that, so the raters can evaluate packaging. That because we can translate it into visual, yes.
Great, good. I think it's very marketable, because I also think that another advice would be you can try to present the product through the lens of, for example, saving money for companies, because your product would save money for, as David said, some incompetent people from marketing or whatever insisting, or marketing managers or marketing directors for that matter, who are insisting to place ads here and here and there and there and there. So I think in your value proposition, you can also add, like, you will be saving 30% of your, or 20 or 10% of your budget by using our service. And the third advice would be, I don't know whether you can kind of sell your product as a plug-in solution for the research firms, like Nielsen or whatever, like, you know, make some kind of a contract with them, an agreement with them that they can sell it as their, I don't know, outsourced product or whatever, but basically you're just a plug-in solution for research companies. But I think it's a very good product and very marketable. Thank you for the presentation.
Thank you, Alexander.
Okay, we have 1 more minute, maybe just for one question, but be very precise and keep the answering question. Anyone from the jury wants to ask anything? Okay, I'll take that as a no. Thank you so much, Urša. I guess this short time was enough to make everything clear, so that's a good sign.
Thank you.
We will be moving forward with the pitches, and we actually have 2 startups who will be pitching physically from Impact Hub space. One of them is Newco. And hello, Dusan. How are you?
Very good. Yourself?
Just let me know once you're ready to start, and I will start the time as well.
Good. All is ready. I think the camera is on me.
Okay, great.
I think we're good. Okay, so hello, my name is Dusan Mishkulin. I am head of sales and business development for Newco, and we are an AR, augmented reality solutions company situated in Belgrade. And we've been existing in one form or another now as a full-on company for almost half a decade. Now, we have ventured into fields of entertainment, retail, and recently construction, with a meeting last week even opening certain retail options for beauty sphere of industry, beauty industry. What we're going to present for you today is our See for Yourself application, which is actually something that when we started thinking about it, it was more of a, how does this not exist now? And I'm not sure if you can see the swipe down. Can they see the? Yeah, good, perfect. So if you wanted to paint your house, what would you do now? You would use the same thing as your grandparents and great-grandparents. You would use a sample, and let's be honest, it just won't cut it. With the dynamic space we live in today, a sample is not good enough to satisfy the needs, especially of the up-and-coming millennial, then Gen Z, and so forward generations who are just used to digitizing everything. On the side of digitizing the sale process is a must to survive in any business. So what have been people doing? Initially they started having like pre-made pictures that you can paint, which you can relate to, or you could upload your own pictures. And then honestly, when we started testing solutions like that, I had anxiety attack, like when I was a kid and I would in MS Paint draw something and I would try to paint everything with a bucket and it would just spill over. And so this is what has been happening with all of these technologies so far, that they've been completely spilling over, and we're not really clear where is the limit between the furniture, where is the limit between the floor, the wall, the ceiling, pictures, clocks on the wall, and all these other things. But here's where we found ourselves a year and a half ago, and then we said, let's go with machine learning, neural networks, reinforced learning networks, and AI. And we have created a patented solution, which is doing two things. So first of all, it's telling you what a wall is and what a wall isn't. What the wall is, we're perfecting all the time, but it's very good at this point. And we're also working on what the wall isn't by training neural networks, for example, for living space. Now we're introducing to train it for office space. And also we're moving towards training it possibly for hospitals and schools based on our client needs. And when I do say client, we do have clients. We have sold this application in the local market. Is going to cover the, I think, Western Balkans region. And we're also, just yesterday, we had a conversation with a company that wants to hire us and to have our software be used in Denmark and United Kingdoms. So what we do is we provide a new level of immersion for wall paints and also wallpapers. So working on tiles and working on floors, so for hardwood floors and so forth, but so far wall paints and wallpapers. And how does it achieve this? Well, simply put, we're using AR technology so that you are no longer trapped by the four edges of your phone. You know, we're all used to continuously looking like this and developing back pains because of it. No, now a phone is a window into what's possible. And our AI solution recognizes where the wall edges are. It basically takes any picture, pushes it into 4 filters of black and white of different variants, and then dots out the limits. To achieve this, one more minute. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to fast forward really fast. To achieve this, we have went through the high fidelity as well. So we're taking into the account the shadows, the light reflection values, and all of those. So you're actually painting the wall in your room and not some imaginary wall, I don't know, 2 or 3 meters away from your camera, which has been done so far. And to fast forward a bit more, we're also providing a new way for companies to have a way to interact with their customers and market metrics, because now they're not only seeing sales figures, they're now seeing interactions, triggers for conversion to purchase and so forth. And we're also providing them with an insight on what can be achieved. I'm just going to click on, for example, one thing that we're again proud of. By the demand of a client that we want to work for, we're also introducing the texture into the application, which so that it can tell them which brushes to use.
We are out of time with the brushes. Okay, so let's move on to the jury questions. I will start the timer.
I can drop this.
All right, I'll go again. Hello from literally directly below you, I believe I am right now. Yeah, look down.
The white X, so.
Yeah. I mean, sounds solid. Like, I know what you mean. Like, samples are an absolute nightmare. And you're right, most of the existing tech I've seen is like your wall and half a clock will be covered. You mentioned you've been going for 5 years, so you have several other businesses, I would guess, powered by your technology.
Yes.
Okay. And, sorry.
We have a deal struck with Hasbro, the biggest entertainment company in the world, for an entertainment solution in partnership with Charisma Hotels in Caribbean. And we're also partnering up with 3 biggest construction companies in Serbia to provide smart construction AR solution for following through with the projects being developed. And now the 4th one is being opened because we're primarily an AR solution company. So
can I ask, is today just PR then? Because you're not looking to actively raise, right? You're just spreading the word.
I didn't catch it.
It says on your pitch you're not actively looking to raise. You're just looking at partnerships and public relations right now.
No, we're looking for partnerships. We're also looking for clients, and we're looking for contacts as well, because maybe you are aware of an issue or an application, let's put it like this. So if somebody who we could partner up with, if somebody who sees an application for AR technology, and then we could go down that line.
Do you provide well, actually, no, that would be more complex. So you provide effectively the software. So you provide an application, or you provide a plug into an existing application?
Depends on what solution is needed. So we go from either having a full-on solution being developed by us or connected. So for example, a solution for a company that we talked to yesterday from England, they want to have the full analytics and purchasing or e-commerce redirected not within the app, but to their existing platform. So we're in some things that we're integrating, some things we're creating from scratch.
Okay, cool. Thank you. I mean, yeah, seems cool.
Okay, Zvezdana?
So if I understood well, your solution is fully B2B oriented. Do you plan to have also a B2C element of it?
For this, no. For wall painting, no. The monetizing aspect of it would be to then have it B2C, launch it, have to worry about it being spread, and then educating people how to use it. And then the monetizing aspect will only come with us actually renting out spots for certain companies which are dealing with paint, either production or distribution for their pallets. So it's like,
Okay, so how is your current business model? How are you charging those companies?
We're charging them based on a contract, and we are charging them within 3 packages. So either the core package, which contains all the technologies without analytics, the analytics package, which is the core technologies with analytics, and then the custom technology package, which is, I don't know. So for example, the brushes and rollers being recommended, local associations being recommended, curated colors being created, and so forth.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we have 1.5 minutes more. Is there any more questions? I guess not. Okay.
All clear?
All clear.
Good.
Thank you so much, Dusan.
No worries.
So we are moving forward to the Tomafo. Boyan, are you here around?
Yes, I'm here. Okay, so you can hear me. Mm-hmm. Let me share the presentation and start with it.
Great. Just let me know when to start the time. And in the meantime, I would just remind the jury to fill out regularly their score sheets.
Okay, so we can start.
Okay, starting the time.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Boyan, co-founder of Tomapo, your personal gardening assistant. Today, gardening is becoming more and more popular also among the younger generation. According to some sources in the US, gardening is the #1 hobby among millennials, and on Facebook you can find 70 million millennials interested in vegetable gardening. Now, when we think about gardening, this is what we expect. And because unlike our parents and much like Jon Snow, we know nothing about gardening. So this is what we get in reality, because we don't know what to do, how to do it, or when to do it. And this is the reason we developed Tomapo, which at the moment consists of a web-based garden planner that helps you organize your garden and take into consideration best practices in gardening, and a mobile application that then guides you through the whole gardening season, giving you advice about vegetables, weather, and so on. With this, we made 67,000 registered users happy all over Europe, and we are now adding other functionalities that our user requested, such as a seed exchange platform, sensors for a smarter garden, image-based pest and disease recognition, and family meal planning functionality. We are also developing tools for gardening centers and gardening brands to help them reach out to a whole new generation of gardening. Because the problem they have is that they are stuck with a clientele that is getting old and they don't know how to reach out to the young generation. Of course, we have competition when it comes to applications related to gardening, but we stand out because we offer a complete set of tools that the gardener needs. We provide a better user experience, as proved as one of the highest rating on Google Play among gardening apps, and a business model that takes into consideration all relevant stakeholders in the world of gardening. On the B2C segment, we can say that in Slovenia, we have reached out to 1.5% of the population, and we have a high conversion to pro paying users. Replicating this in the main European markets would lead to more than 100,000 paying users, or 1.8 million of yearly recurring revenues. On the B2B segment, we are also active, and we partnered with Semenarna, a seed producer here in Slovenia, and also owner of the largest garden chain of garden centers in Slovenia. And we can also say that we have the first paying customers in the Italian, German, and French market. We've been experimenting with various business models because we can have there are many options for revenue streams. So far, the most promising ones were the pro subscriptions and the tool that we offer to gardening brands and garden centers. But in the future, with growing the number of users, we can also try other ones, such as in-app purchases that become meaningful when the number of users grow. Our go-to-market strategy is that we amplify what we have been doing so far, and so far we have been growing mostly organically. When gardening season comes, we get among the top 5 lifestyle applications on Google Play in Slovenia. And this effect we would like to amplify with local partnerships, with local garden centers, with gardening influencers, the way as we do in Slovenia with Vertobilia, and increasing media coverage that we have seen has a big impact on the number of users. The first market we are targeting in Europe is Italy, because it's the market with the highest potential for gardening and the highest interest in gardening in Europe. The team behind Tomapo has complementary skills, including 2 PhDs and experiences with previous startups. And we are determined to make Tomapo the best gardening application in the world. To do so, we are looking for an investment around 350K of seed investment to finalize development of the application, the features that we have in mind, the iOS version of the application, which is still missing, and to boost market penetration in the main European markets. This was Tomapo. We are helping people grow their own vegetables and gardening brands grow their businesses. Thank you.
Thank you, Bojan. You have 30 seconds left. So we can start with the jury questions. Does anyone have a question for Bojan?
If I may, Alexander speaking.
Sure.
Bojan, thank you very much for the presentation. It's a very good pitch, very good structure, very good pitch, very good flow, like amazing.
Thank you.
So I think I really like this idea. Maybe I like this idea the most, like gardening and bringing it onto the level that is like you're basically elevating the entire thing. I think you have identified a very good market fit with the people with the gardening and basically growing, producing, and eating your own food, or having your own plants. And so this is a great, huge trend right now. So I think it's a very good market fit. I think you have a little bit of an issue with the seasonality, like you need to cover the entire cycle of gardening and planting and all those stuff. But I think you have found a way, more or less, by adding and introducing new functionalities to the app. Speaking about new functionalities, I think you should also focus on, for example, composting as one of the, one of the components that you can educate people on. Just a slightly like I wasn't completely happy with the value proposition. Like you have huge competition, like you have big competitors, and I think your value proposition versus those competitors needs to be a little bit clearer and a little bit like this is where we are different from these competitors. So this is just a bit that I liked because I mean you have raised the bar high, so I'm kind of there, and I think you need to kind of, maybe you can make the pitch a little bit more towards clean tech, like, or either add new functionalities or add some kind of KPIs, some kind of, if it's B2C, calculate your own carbon footprint if you're doing this via our app versus something. Just make it more investable by the investors who are doing it in clean tech area. Apart from that, I like the B2C offer. I like the B2B. It's highly potential in B2B area as well. I think you have a very good and very marketable product. Very good presentation.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Can I comment on a few things? Just
if you have the time, I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe for the first thing from the top of my mind is the seasonality. This is something that we are aware. Looking at the data, it goes up and then it goes down in the other half of the year. So this is something we are working on in the background. We are preparing the data so that we can move to other climates, because it's not just a question of language, but also climates. So part of the investment would also be to prepare the data in a way that we can then, when the big season finishes here in Europe, we move to, let's say, Australia, Brazil. These are some big markets that just switch with us. And so we can have a steady, something to do all over the year. So yeah, this is something we are aware of and we are working on. We also had something more about clean tech in one version of the pitch. It was the number of CO2, the equivalent of CO2 emissions you save by growing a certain amount of vegetables, and also the seed exchange platform. Something that we would like to partner up with. We're trying is let's say some telecom companies that would do social responsibility campaign around the seed exchange platform, where we've been communicating with the seed bank here in Slovenia, and we have a proposal to do a campaign together, us, the telco, and the seed bank, collecting the money so that something goes also in the seed bank, and we help preserving biodiversity, which is actually one of the biggest problems, environmental problems we are facing today. So yeah, I'm happy to hear that these kind of things get appreciated also by others. Thank you.
Good. Thanks again. Thank you very much.
Great. So we have around 20 seconds left. I guess that's not enough time for question and answer, but if somebody would like to try. Oh, okay. So we are moving forward. Thank you so much, Gwen. We are having, last but not least, we have one more startup physically here in space. Hello, VR Meko.
Hi.
Hi, Zorne. How are you?
Very well. Well, this is my first time to have any pitch, so I hope I will do good.
Great. Good luck. Let me know once you share the presentation. Let me know when you want to start, and I'll start the time.
Okay. Hi, I'm Zoran, and I'm CEO of a virtual reality media company, and we are creators of VR Chair, and this is ultimate device for VR locomotion. Right now, there is currently 16 million sold VR units in the world, and the VR market is about 16 billion right now. But we believe that with our product, that market can increase tenfold. Why we think that? Because there is several problems that hold back the VR market right now. The main problem is nausea induced by locomotion, and 80% of users have that problem. Also, there is a problem of the space needed for VR, which also is correlated to safety in VR. Fourth problem is very big problem is lack of mainstream content. There is no games with mass appeal right now in VR because they are not compatible with current VR solutions, and that is connected with the nausea. Also, there is accessibility problem for people with disabilities right now in VR, and lack of enterprise solution with fluid locomotion. We solved all those problems. We solved the problem by applying logical principles. Our solution into believing, and we achieved that by applying neurological principles that tricks our brain of space. So we saw of the space very important for location-based, and so cheap consumption, all VR hardware, and also with all software, VR or not. So we can bridge between non-VR games that currently you cannot play in VR without nausea. Also, we solve the problem for some people with disabilities, and our usage of our chair is a product. It's also very, very good for home entertainment and productivity. Also for location-based entertainment, education centers, professional training, especially for people who have extreme working conditions like astronauts or firefighters, etc. After that, there is competition in the field of VR input devices, and those companies are Virtuix Omni, Catwalk VR, RotoChair, and 3D Radar. None of them address all issues, while they all fail to solve nausea. So they cannot solve the main issue with VR right now. They are also not compatible with most software and hardware, making it mandatory for proprietary software development. So they need to make their own software in order to be used. We spent 7 years developing our solution, going through many phases of R&D, and we tested to more than 2,000 people. We address all issues, making the VR chair the ultimate VR input device. We applied neurological principles to create the perfect interface between human and computer. We achieved a feedback loop between issuing command and actually sensing them. And that by itself solved the main problem of nausea. Also, we protect all our solutions with the patent. Our goal is simple. We want to achieve highest possible valuation and get acquired or become publicly traded company. We intend to get there by actually finishing production preparation process. We need injection mold for plastic parts, and also we would like to find a partner who is experienced in production and distribution. So we don't want to do production and distribution by ourselves. We offer 10% equity for $500,000 that will be spent.
We are out of time.
Okay.
We have a slide so you can read it through.
That's it.
Thank you so much, Zoran. Do we have any questions now at the moment?
Hello. Can you tell us something more about your team, please?
Okay, we have a 10 people team, and we have 4 investors. We have people that doing a job of administration, law, and business, also research and development. And our team is functioning for 4 years now. I don't know any other specifics about our team. We are all professionals in our field with many years of experience in our fields, and we are achieving great stuff by combining our mutual strong points in that regard.
If I may ask a question, Alexander speaking. Thank you for the presentation. It's a very specific thing, so I would just advise that in the presentation you say, you know, what, for example, you say what is the main reason for nausea when in terms of VR, and how does specifically your solution solve that problem? Maybe in a form of a demo video or something like that. Because that's not very clear. I'm not very clear how you actually solve that problem with a chair. And I saw in the paper that was sent before, like you plan to have the retail price of the product $900 US, right?
Yes.
So who are your main clients? What's your primary target?
First, we are targeting VR enthusiasts. And demographic are between 35 and 45 years old. And also, we have a video explaining in great details the way we achieve this. But by simplifying that, we achieve that by using the principles of neurology to trick our brain in order to think that it's actually moving. And other companies try to achieve the sensation of movement by moving the legs. In order to achieve the sensation of movement, you need actually vestibular system, and vestibular system is only way to transfer the sensation of motion.
Okay, so this is getting already complicated. So my advice would be just make it simplify this explanation and put it in the pitch, because that's your competitive advantage. And basically, we could hear about it, but you cannot actually see it. Like, make it more obvious, make it more, you know, to the head of everyone. So we say, wow, this is great. You know, make it more attractive. That's my main advice. And then the other question was about who is your main target audience. If only VR enthusiasts are your main clients, I think you should diversify more, and you should make a better target segment.
Sorry, pardon me, I didn't hear you. The last part.
So in terms of who your clients are, I don't think you should stick only to VR enthusiasts. You should diversify to some companies or whoever is using these products for their researches or for whatever purpose, because I don't think that VR enthusiasts are a big enough market.
Okay.
Can I jump in?
Thank you very much.
Svetlana has raised her hand before.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I would like to understand, did you make this product? Is this product existing?
Yes.
You have a prototype, or you have a product that is actually selling?
We have a pre-production model. We are pre-revenue right now.
So you need to find somebody who is going to produce it massively.
Yes.
Okay, I would also like to comment on the thing that previous colleague mentioned, is that, okay, I mean, it's of course your strategy, but there are many, let's say, institutions that use VR massively. So they could maybe be your target merchants, because they will be able to purchase many more products than just an enthusiast. But all in all, I think the product could be good. Just another thing, does it really not provoke nausea? Did you test it extensively and you proved that it doesn't provoke it in many users?
We don't have scientific proof right now. We have our own survey that we did on more than 2,000 people right now.
And we are on time as well. So thank you, Zorane, and thank you all for such an interesting pitches, and to the jury for the invaluable questions and feedback. Now, jury can move to the jury debrief closed meeting with our managing partner, Pavle, and co-founder, Nenad, to wrap up the discussion, and we will meet again at the award ceremony at 5:45 p.m. with you again. Just a note to all of the jury members, Pavle has sent you a separate Zoom link for this meeting on your email, so just access it through it. And I would like to thank you all for joining us today. And I hope you had a great time with us and got inspired by some new founder stories. Please do follow us on social media channels, as we will notify you on the results of the award ceremony, on the progress of our startups, and investments raised in the following period. And of course, see you on the fall demo day. And also, I would like to say to the founders, and to the one who are pitching today, and to the founders who are interested to hear more about the programs and opportunities at Impact Hub Belgrade, I would just like to ask you to stay and join us on the link that we will leave in the chat box, where startups from our community will be sharing their experiences through the programs, and you can ask them any questions on collaboration with how the collaboration with Impact Hub went for them while we are waiting for the results. You can ask them the questions like, we will leave just a couple of icebreakers in the chat box as well, in case you don't know how to approach them. And then we will see you, of course, at 5:45 p.m. all back to announce the winners for today. Hello, do you hear us?
Hello,
Great.
hello.
Hi again. It's crowded in here. Okay, so where's our, so who is presenting in front of the jury? Alexandra?
Me. I do, I am.
Okay,
No.
so we are eager to hear. Let's go straight to the point.
Are we all here? Are we waiting for someone else to join us, or? Yeah, no?
Okay, 1, 2, 3,
Okay.
4. Okay, maybe we can.
I feel like I'm part of a really weird family.
Are you?
So I'm speaking on behalf of the jury, right?
Okay, this really weird family, I think it's getting complete.
Shall we wait a bit more, or what?
Okay,
Okay, can I start?
I think we can start.
Okay. So first of all, so I'm speaking on behalf of the jury, obviously, not only on my behalf, but more or less we were unanimous. So we had a little bit of difficulties, like deciding who's gonna, take the most promising title, the most promising startup title. We had a bit of a tie, I have to say, but in the end we decided. First of all, I just want to say thank you, like a huge thank you to all the startups. And I said to my fellow jury members, like, I work with startups in Portugal. This is my first, and not only in Portugal, I work in San Francisco as well, and Finland for that matter as well, and in other areas. And I was really very, very, very positively surprised with the ideas. I think all the ideas are great, but not all the ideas are equally marketable. And I think that was the main criteria that all the jury members took into account when we actually decided.
Can you just please speak a bit louder because we can't hear you very well?
So I was saying that all the ideas were great and very good, but not all the ideas were equally marketable. And that is basically the main criteria we took into account when we were deciding on the most promising one, on the main prize. We also have the best pitch one, so I can first say the best pitch one. We decided unanimously, basically, that the best pitch was Tomapo, and congratulations for that. It was the best structured one, the clearest one. Congratulations, yeah. It's really very, very clear, very neat, very, left us without any doubt about what the product is, what the target audience is, what the value proposition is, what the business model is, and a very good idea and very marketable idea at the same time. So Bojan and the team, congratulations on that one. And the winner, the most promising one, is actually, shall we say it like at the same time, like all the jury members or something like that, to make it more interesting? It is actually Relaxify. And we have, congratulations to the team. So we decided, we had a tie with another one, and we decided that it's going to be Relaxify because it's a very high potential market. It's a very good product. We believe in the team, and we believe that the team can actually develop the product and put it on the market and start earning money in the shortest possible period. So congratulations to the Relaxify team, and that's the decision of the jury. So if any other jury members would like to add something, their impressions, or additional explanations,
I would. When I heard your pitch, the first thing that I did in the first minute, I was like, I'm downloading this immediately. I need this in my life.
Exactly.
I opened my iPhone and it's like not available to iPhone users. And I felt like,
they need money. They need money.
And I was like, they better use this money if they win to get me that app ASAP. So well done. I was really, really blown away by you embedding psychologists into your founding team and doing this right from the beginning with Expert Matters. Somebody else in the jury, I think he is not here, mentioned that he really appreciated that the people who do this for a living went ahead and took a big leap of faith into the tech sphere and created something very marketable with cutting edge technology in today's world. And I think we've all really appreciated what you brought in today. So congrats to you and your team.
Thank you. First of all, thank you to all of us. Yeah, this is a job from the whole Revaxify team. Thank you very much for this opportunity, first of all, to pitch it and then to go to the next level. Thank you, Jerry, for all the comments and all the suggestions that you have put it up in this demo day. So really, thank you for everything. Yes, of course, we're gonna use this money for ISM. So expect it. I will send it privately to all of you.
I'll be expecting it.
Thank you.
Before we close out, I would just like to take a picture of this strange family in here. Can we just do a screenshot? Like I'll say 1, 2, cheese, and then we'll screenshot. 1, 2, cheese.
Oh, okay. Here's Ogne. We can see actually who is behind close.
Okay, so you guys, we'll be doing follow-ups during the next week. Pavla will contact all of you, each and every one of you individually with the feedback and with more information on how we might have the collaboration and what's the best way that we can help you out. So until then, just stay happy.
Okay.
This weird.
Unfortunately.
And use Revaxify.
I love the energy. So it was very nice meeting all of you today. And sorry that I was the strict timekeeper, but in order for us to save the energy, we have to, if you can't pitch your idea in 5 minutes, you have to practice more. That's definitely. So
I'm going to quote you on that. On the Impact Hub website.
We'll code this on the Impact Hub website. Great event and great organization. Thank you again.
Nice to briefly meet all of you and not talk to you, but I'm sure we'll get a chance. Come to Belgrade and say hi if you haven't been here before. It's a lot of fun.
See you guys.
See you guys.
Thank you very much.